still messed up, and what would help me acknowledge that. So that's the final question that I have is, what else can people do to break this unproductive habit of blame? Is there anything else you recommend?
I couldn't find any other steps, but I just recalled as you were talking, one of my definitions of courage is fear makes you wet your pants. Courage motivates you to do what you have to do with wet pants. So listen, I impressed myself from skydiving to ballooning. Paul Newman talked me in. Well, he didn't talk me in, but he shamed me into race car driving. Shame. And I've probably done diving, a couple hundred dives. All these things taught me a lesson about risk-taking, about the payoff. And I go back, you've got to want to change to change. Nobody can make you change.
Right.
You've got to, why do people come to you? Why do people come to me? Because they want to change. That's why I do the way I do. It's all word of mouth. You know, so I know I'm halfway there when somebody gives my office a call.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, and it's, and it is one of those things where many of us say we want to change, and then we get into it, and we get into that, well, this is hard, and it's uncomfortable, and I feel bad.
And they fall back into what I mentioned before, a habit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point. This is a habit. Blaming is a habit, and if you want to change a habit, it's so funny because I have no shame in what I'm about to tell you. But for probably a couple of years, I love to drink. I just love to drink. So during the COVID and all this stuff, I'm still productive. Doesn't bother me. But I'll have a martini and a half, 2 martinis 7 nights a week. Well, I couldn't fit in any of my clothes, and I'm I'm very tall, and I've always been in great shape. So I went, wait a minute, this is nuts, and I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit drinking. I don't want to. I like it. A friend of mine he said, well, what do you get out of it? I said, well, it's the taste, it's the feeling, and it's a habit. She said, no, the ritual. So today, I've lost 24 pounds because I had to change by having, instead of a martini, I have a cup of strong coffee about 5 or 5:30 when I read the 3 newspapers, and I give myself permission. If I go out once a week, I give myself permission. Well, it's been really hard for 2 months, but you know what? It took me 2 months to get there and say, I can tell you this because it's now a new habit for me.
Well, and that's, I mean, and that's what people, and again, what's the expression? Rome wasn't built in a day. I mean, it's taking a step every single day, and whether or not it's a big step or a small step, or maybe today I don't even have the energy to move forward. It's just I'm not going to go backwards. But it really is this idea about making a choice, and then doing all the things you were talking about. And the first one is so important. Is just that making that decision that you want to do this differently. So,
but
James,
the passion comes. Yeah. The passion comes if you take a step backwards. We all do.
Sure.
And then you go, oh, look at that. Isn't that, well, I got this little saying that I teach people about changing their self-talk, is to stop, look at their thought, and say, isn't that interesting? Because there's no judgment, and it gives you time to reframe your thinking.
Right. I have a friend who says, just pause and say,
Yeah, it works. Same thing. That works.
So, James, can you tell people where they can learn more about you, your philosophy, how to create better habits, and the plague of blaming? Sure.
First of all, you can Google my name, James Mapes, M-A-P as in Peter, E-S, and you'll have lots and lots of choices. And if you go to my website, www.jamesmapes.com, I do every month, it's what you read, I do what I call an almost monthly newsletter because sometimes it's 5 weeks, 6 weeks,
right,
and sometimes it's 3 weeks. And you can sign up, no charge. I don't sell any product or anything. And all my books, everything is on my website. So the 2 books, the bestseller is Quantum Leap Thinking, An Owner's Guide to the Mind. And my last book was called Imagine That, Igniting Your Brain for Creativity and Peak Performance. And it's the only hardbound book with 21 video links of me coaching in 4 to 6 minute segments and a stress reduction exercise and a forgiveness exercise.
Oh, I love that. So, most of us believe in accountability until it's us that needs to take it. And the truth is, as you've been hearing today, we all make mistakes. But not owning them makes the situation worse. Do that too often, and your relationships will suffer. So how do you feel when someone blames you? What allows you to blame others? What would it take for you to take real accountability for your actions? And like breaking any habit, it can be difficult at first, but gets easier the more you do it. So my question is, what do you need to do to get started? And hopefully one of the things that you want is to have a better marriage, better relationship. And one of the things that I hope you make a habit of is listening to this show. And until next week, stay loving.